I genuinely thought quitting vaping, it was going to be one of the hardest things that I'd ever do or try to do. I'd looked into it and done some research, spent time looking into how to go about it, how to start. I'd read some books, some good ones, some not so good, and I found some art that really helped sort me out with this one. So considering research that I did, it was quite a lot for me, and stuff that I read and watched online, maybe I can save you a bit of time. By sharing this, maybe you might see exactly what I saw. You might see it from the angle that I saw it from, and it really might help you. So that's the reason I'm doing this. I'm doing this vlog today, just in the hope that if someone watches this that really wants to kick this habit, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And certainly you. But I'm not here to preach, so I'm just going to tell you what I found out along the way and some key things that really helps the penny drop when it comes to nicotine. And I'm going to share that with you because I think it's really important. So cheers everybody. Stick around for this. It's a bit different, but like I say, if it helps one person, if you can share this message, you don't have to subscribe to the channel. It'd be nice, but honestly, let's crack on. It's nearly a month now that I've not vaped, and I'm pretty proud of that. Pretty proud of it. Let me tell you how I got on. I suppose one of the interesting things is I've never ever smoked cigarettes. I've never been a smoker. And like I said, I've been vaping 10 years. I didn't do it to quit smoking because I'd never been buying nicotine before. I'd never bothered even having a drag on a cigarette. It weren't for me then. I just didn't do it, but the association that a lot of people make is that you've moved on to vaping by trying to quit smoking. Well, that weren't me. That weren't me at all. It's a funny one really to talk about. 10 years on something that started really, it shouldn't have started, I guess, but it did. So it became a habit, vaping for me, and the habit was the problem. It become part of everything I did, and not that I'd notice it, but it really did. For example, you'd be sat down and you'd be watching TV, and I were constantly vaping through that process. And I'd feel anxious if I didn't have my vape with me. I suppose one of the weird ones as well is going to sleep on a night. And as you do, I mean, I'm 53, right? So you do get up now and again. As I'm sure a lot of people get up in the night. And I wanted, before I even opened my eyes, I reached for my vape. And it didn't seem troublesome at time, it seemed normal. Where's my vape? Have a quick vape. I go about my business, go back to sleep. I woke up, where's my vape? Do you know what I mean? Like, I hope it's been charged. After a meal's a big one for smokers that I never understood. We'd be around people that, you know, back in the day were having a meal with us, and they'd nip out during courses, and I think, where they're going. I never understood why they were compelled to have a smoke until I started vaping, until I was vaping. And You have to do it. You feel like it's part of what you need to do. Your body and your mind and everything else is saying, this comes next. What I noticed after doing a bit of research is a lot of it is fear. And speaking to people, there were fear in that. Listening to people who'd tried to step away from this habit and break the chain, they'd tried to not be addicted to the drug that is nicotine. And they'd gone a week, they'd gone 2 weeks, and they'd end up going back. Now, a lot of people that I spoke to said to me, I enjoy it though. Because I enjoy it, I went back to it. And looking at that, that's their comment, and everybody's different. But who are they convincing that that's a thing that they can enjoy, being held to have this habit? I'm not so sure, and I'm not here to doubt anybody. So there's a lot of fear in failure. What if I start this and it don't work? So I did it on my own one day, and I just thought, I'm not telling anybody. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to broadcast it. When I first started, I got up that morning and forgot to take it to work deliberately. And then it progressed. What I found absolutely surprising, reading stuff online and researching and knowing that nicotine, it is the most addictive drug. No matter how you look at it, it's the one thing that gets into your bloodstream and starts working pretty much first or second time you try it. You become addicted. Now, I was really surprised how quick nicotine leaves your system. Really surprised. It really surprised me when I found out how quick nicotine starts leaving your system. And again, I'm not qualified to say exactly how that works and when and the exact timings, but for the purpose of this video, let's just say it starts leaving your system as soon as you've finished having your vape, and within a few days it's gone. So I'm thinking to myself, how can that be then, that it's so hard to quit vaping? If it's just a case of getting through a few days, why does everybody feel that it's really hard? And I'm not doubting them, but why is it going to be hard? What's the bit that I'm missing here? So nicotine has gone. So what's the issue? Well, the issue is quite simply, when I understood this, and don't get me wrong, it took a couple of times for a penny to drop, but I did get my head around it. So that's why I'm confident in saying that I think it's worth making this vlog, because if you can get your head around this bit, you've got a real good chance. You've got a real chance of kicking that habit. Because, you probably guessed, the habit is the most thing that tricks you. The habit, the formed habit is, and it were for me, the trickiest bit to get rid of. It's the tricky bit. And for some people it's, what do I do? I'm used to the habit of having something in my hand, right? I'm used to the habit of going and doing something after a meal. And I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but there will be, and I think I've read this, there will be something that says habits form after routine is repeated. so many times. Is it something like 100 times to form a new habit? I'm not sure. That's a guess. If you reverse that and try a new habit, or try and forget that habit that you had, and you practice it a lot more than once, who's to say you can't break that old habit? So breaking that habit, once I understood that that's what were happening, that habit had to be broken after the nicotine had left, things became easier. Now, not easy, and I'm not saying this is easy by any means, but things became easier when I started to understand that it was the habit that needed breaking next. And every day it got gradually easier. Like I said on thumbnail, the whole process, after 10 years and considering everything, came easier to me than what I thought or what I feared would be the case. And the way I chose to do it, some might think it's a bit daft, but it worked for me. And I'm not saying that the way that I did it will work for everybody, but I thought to myself, I've started vaping and on this road to nicotine, and I've started taking this nicotine regular, and I'm addicted to it, but I weren't addicted to it before. I weren't. And I thought to myself, I don't want to go from nicotine to nicotine. So I decided I don't want to go from one nicotine product to another nicotine product. So what I mean by that is, I didn't fancy going and buying patches when I've said no to nicotine. And when I said no to nicotine, and I'd come past them few days, I didn't want to reintroduce it into my life like I did 10 years ago for no reason other than boredom. That's the only explanation I've got. And here I am, almost a month later. And I'm not telling you it's a bad thing and to stop doing it for health reasons. And I'm not telling you that it's silly because it's a choice you're making. Who am I to say that that's silly? But another thing that really stuck out for me, and when I thought about it, 10 years, it's a long time to be buying something that you've got naught to show for after. Is it? You know what I mean? Like, maybe I was spending a tenner a week on it. Maybe a bit more sometimes, maybe a bit less. But that's a bonus that I'm not having to do that now. That's just one of the added bonuses. I'm not saying I've got all answers. I'm not trying to be smug, and I'm not trying to tell you that this is what you must do. But for me, the benefits that I've had straight away in that first week, after them first few days, let's talk about some of that, some of the benefits. I felt like I could breathe better. I felt like I was less twitchy. I felt more like in control of what were happening. Rather than let this thing control me in a way, which didn't seem like it were at time. Something like, I enjoy it, I just want to do it. Oh, I enjoy vaping. It's social, it's this, it's that. But I was kidding myself on. I was not being truthful because I couldn't stop at a certain point, and I were addicted to nicotine. And it is a real thing. It is a real thing. And part of the understanding of moving away from it is to know that, I were addicted to a drug. for 10 years. Moving away from that, like I say, I feel better in myself as well. It's given me a lot of focus back, my concentration's better. This is just me, you know, I'm not guaranteeing anything for anybody, but yeah, I think this story is worth sharing because, like I said, right at the beginning at post, once I got past them few days, it started to get easier. I think every day got a little bit easier. Not easy, don't get me wrong, it's not easy every day, but every day it gets easier. And that's why I've come to the conclusion that for me, quitting vaping was much easier than I thought initially, having heard so many stories and read so many things. And like I said, just to recap here, the main takeaway for me, having looked at all these videos, which you probably don't need to watch as many as I did, but having done some research and watched these videos, the main takeaway is, for me, was basically, it's a twofold process. The first bit is coming off the drug, and that moves and leaves your system real quick. The second part is equally as important, is breaking the habit, understanding that this is a habit that's formed over time by things that's been repeated over time, and when you stop doing that initially, it takes practice. But you can break that habit gradually, and then you've done it. And I think you owe it to yourself to give it a go if that's what you want to do. Is get rid of the nicotine, ride them few days out, and then think about breaking that habit and break the habit. You can do it if I can do it. Maybe it's first time that you've met me, and cheers if you've clicked on this and you've never seen any of my videos. Thank you very much. You're under no obligation to subscribe. It might not be that you like this type of thing or me just chatting, but that's fine. That's not what this video is about. The bit of money that I got back, and that is to be considered. It's real, it's tangible. I don't have to spend between £10 and £20 a week. Sometimes less, let's be right. It's not the most expensive thing. But I'm not having to put that money away to continue with this habit that's gone now. So that extra bit of cash, and it's only a little bit, if you know, but it adds up, doesn't it, over a month? And it's given me a bit more to play with, shall we say. And that's always good if you've got habits, new habits, that you find more productive. You might start a new sport, you might start doing something different. You might go into back to one of your old hobbies, like I went back to collecting models and stuff like that. That bit of extra cash really come in handy, especially this time of year, coming up to Halloween as well for me. I always like buying little bits of daft stuff and models and stuff like that, and I don't feel as bad now because I'm not wasting money on something that I'm having to buy and getting nothing back, and it's not an investment that I wanted to continue doing for no return. That's another little thing, not the most important thing, but a bit of a bonus, a bit of free cash for you that you'd forgot you'd got. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. I'm really rude, I've not introduced myself. My name's JT, I'm 53-year-old. And when I find stuff like this, I think, well, give it a go. And I always try and share it with others because it might help somebody one day. So thanks a lot. Take care.